Hello, and welcome to the River Cruising Masterclass. We are back with another part of our deep dive into the top 15 river cruise companies in Europe. Those that are new, some that are old, and some that are just well loved. I want to say blue, and it does fit because the ship that we're talking about today is blue. Win-win for the something. I haven't decided yet. Okay, easily distracted. All right, today we're going to talk about Lindblad and National Geographic. And in case you didn't know, they now have a river cruise company. So I thought we should talk about it. I think it's an interesting product. I have met with the business development manager and we have talked about what makes this unique and who it's for. And let me just say, Lindblad Expeditions River Cruise Company is for someone who wants to sell on Lindblad Expedition Company. Sorry, I'm getting text messages from a group that is flying home today. They were on a river cruise themselves. Anyways, so Lindblad and National Geographic. I think they have such an interesting product. And so I'm gonna just talk through some of my high level points and then we're gonna get into those questions that we answer every time and how we can do that. So when you think of Lindblad National Geographic, you don't think of river cruising river cruising in Europe. It is a different feel and they take a different approach. So the approach that they take when it comes to river cruising is a historian, like hands-on, same sort of approach they do for expedition. And because of that, they are going to have a historian on board that is going to come with you on different tours, kind of provide that education while you're on the ship and things of that nature. Now this is a new venture and they are actually leasing these ships from a company called Transcend. And these are going to be top of the line, brand new river cruise ships, and they only have 120 people on board. So it is beautiful ships. If you can see the background that I'm at, I kind of have an overview of what it's gonna look like. It's gonna be very similar to those who have looked at or wanted to sell with Riverside, but wanted a different sort of approach to it. Riverside's gonna be focused on that food, where this is gonna be focused on making a river cruise expedition like. This, again, as I've talked about for the ideal traveler for Lindblad, it is going to be those people who are current Lindblad clients. And because that's the reason why they did this. They did similar to Celebrity, where they asked their clients, where do you want to see that we haven't been before? And everyone's like, I want to go on a river cruise. And so that's why they created this product. But it's going to be those people who are wanting to have a historian, that are wanting to have that like cultural engaged travelers who want to learn while learning, who prioritize those experience over luxury, but are gonna pay for high touch that you'll see in the product, but not like flashy in that sort of sense. It's not going to be ideal for budget travelers, people who are wanting to get on a river cruise and not have something that's not super, like, I don't want to say intellectual because I feel like everyone is smart and everyone wants that, but there are certain people who don't want to be learning all the time and want to experience the shopping part of Europe or just being able to enjoy where it's at. And I think that you would be paying for an experience you're not going to use with Lindblad. Like, I wouldn't send my mom on this trip, no matter how beautiful it is and how much she would love the cruise line. I wouldn't do it because that's not what she wants to do on vacation. And everyone has to kind of learn what they do or want to do. When it comes to like the experience on board, very similar to any other river cruise line. It's no formal nights, smart, casual, relaxed. It's gonna probably be even more Patagonia feeling in terms of like hiking plans, layers, comfortable shoes, that like typical expedition sort of traveler versus, you know, in anything else that you would kind of see. Now, the ships. So if we're going to talk about the ships and accommodations, these things are absolutely gorgeous because Transcend River Cruise is gorgeous. I have looked at it, but I don't know enough people, I guess, who want to cruise with me to rent out a whole cruise ship. So if you've ever been interested, I've got the cruise line for you. And we can make a fun, like, event. Let's do it for the cruise. Anyways, easily distracted. I'm looking at it right now. It's 120 people that can come on board, 60 cabins, you know, all French balconies for the clients. It has 62 crew, and that's another thing. So the front end staff would be housed by Lindblad and National Geographic, but the food, the back end staff, that is all going to be Transcend. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because they don't have the autonomy of the staffing as much as they would with their own ships. So this is going to be very much a luxury product. It's going to have a lot of those beautiful touch points. It has a lot of just inside and out, brand new and gorgeous, modern design, smooth rides, better stabilization. Not that you need it, it's a river cruise, higher overall comfort. So for the ship itself, it's absolutely gorgeous. And if that is a concern, I would steer you, pretty much a sister ship or close to it is going to be Riverside in the amount of people on board. Actually, they do 110. But that would be where I would put you if you didn't want the expedition part of this cruise line. So these are all, of course, hypothetical, because Lindblad is actually starting its service in 2026. So this is the time, if you were ever interested and you were thinking that there might be a first year promo, if you were wanting to do that, I would recommend looking at it. It is still probably going to give you sticker shock if you're comparing it to Viking or Ama, because it has less people on board. So Viking has 190, Ama is about 150, 160. This is 120. So you're taking an additional 30 to 40 people off, and they have to, adjust the price accordingly. And when it comes to the onboard entertainment, that's where we're going to have the historians on board. We're going to be focusing on learning about the destinations, how we can kind of bring in that expedition piece of it, having the 2 or 3 different excursions, observation deck for seeing things. So you're going to be learning a lot more. And so what's included in the costs? You have your daily excursions, your expedition, your expert-led programming, your meals on board. You have beverages, but not premium alcohol. You have Wi-Fi. And so Lindblad is as close to all-inclusive as it can get for the most part. There are a few other things, gratuities, spa rentals, things of that nature. So is this cruise line a good value for money? It is, if that's what you're looking for. I would have to experience the product. I am interested to kind of see what happens with Lindblad, because there are people who are like, I love Lindblad. Lindblad is everything I know, and I know that they give a great product. And they will. They 100% know their demographic, and if you are someone who wants the expedition, if you are someone who likes that explorer heart and mindset, Lindblad is exactly where you should be and what you should be doing. And I'm really excited to see, as I was talking to the business development manager, how they're incorporating all of that into their experience on board and how they're really pulling into that sort of piece of it. So I'm super excited to kind of see how they're going to do that and what it's going to look like, because I know that it's going to have that great value. And that's another thing, oh my god, I totally forgot, they have a photographer. So just like they do for their expeditions, they're actually going to have a photographer on these trips as well, who's going to take pictures of you while you're exploring, while you're doing all these other things. So they have that additional piece of it that you wouldn't have with another cruise line. I think I look good a lot of the time. Well, when I try. Like right now, I look like Adam Sandler, but when I'm on vacation, I am so cute. So having that photographer support so you can get those fun photos of you in the experience, of you doing all these other things. You get to feel like you're inside of a documentary. I would love it, because I'm going on a trip with my mom. Last trip that I had with her, I was better off, and I bought one for myself this trip, a tripod, and doing my own photos because of how good she is at taking photos. I love her to death. I love you, Mom. But no matter how many times I teach you how to do a photo, it just doesn't work. Anyways, I digress. What you're going to get with Lindblad. You're going to be getting a lot of education, access, expert guidance, photographer. You're going to be disappointed if you're looking for a luxury cruise ship, even if it's set on a luxury cruise ship, or you're wanting like something more than just the historian sort of side of a river cruise. They're going to give you that river cruise feel. They're going to give you the experience, but it's not, you're going to be disappointed if you are wanting to do more culture versus history, I think is how I'm going to put that. So how does this compare to other river cruise lines out there? So Lindblad's core product is not river cruising. We've kind of circled around at this entire conversation, right? It's an expedition company. Compared to AMA, Uniworld, Scenic, it's not apples to apples. They're currently growing their river collection. So they have like Vietnam and India, Peru. That's going to be more of that same core product where it's an expedition. Europe is going to be more cultural and historical. So you're going to have a different feel for like what you're getting from it. I still think they're doing a great job at pulling their core audience and what they want into what they're selling here. I am excited to see the product. I will probably be going on it in 27 just so that I can experience it. So what's new or noteworthy for Lindblad right now as we move forward? It is currently expanding its Alaska expeditions. I have someone who is looking at doing that and it looks absolutely amazing. And it has continued to roll out. It's growing its river collection. It's focusing on its Starlink Wi-Fi for all of its ships. And it is a growing product that is absolutely amazing at what it does. I've looked at their Galapagos. They've got Iceland, they've got Egypt, Amazon. They even have a really interesting trip, to side note, on not river cruising through Baja, California. It is the only expedition type cruise line that does it. The only thing I think of when I think of Baja, California is like 3-day booze cruise. I'm in California, that's what we do. But they are starting to do, and it's become a really popular one, is doing the whales and having an expedition ship out there. It is very cool and it is a fun sort of way to experience that part because there are really interesting wildlife in this area in Baja, California. So if that was ever something you're interested in, I definitely think you should check it out. River cruising and Lindblad. If you are a historian at heart, I think you should go on this cruise line. If you are someone who has wanted to take an expedition with Lindblad, you are going to love this one. If you have done an expedition with Lindblad, you are going to love their river cruise because they have been in this business for a very long time and they know who their client is. And if you are their client, you are going to love this product. And I am so excited to see what it looks like and I cannot wait to know more. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to be posting some photos and videos of Lindblad that they have currently released and some information about it in my Facebook group. It's the River Cruising Masterclass with Sydney. You can also just follow my professional page, Travel Advisor Sydney, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. I am most often going to be on Instagram and Facebook, and I would love for you to message me and say hi. I love seeing all of you guys, and it makes me so happy to see that this podcast makes some of you guys that you enjoy it, and I appreciate you guys listening, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.